Okay, today we're going to talk about how carbon dioxide, which is a natural byproduct from cellular metabolism, loads into the red blood cell and how oxygen is unloaded into the tissue cells. Well, as you can see here, I made a diagram. I'm not so sure if you could really see it, but carbon dioxide is basically a waste product from, like I said earlier, cellular metabolism. Whenever we exercise, our tissue cells produce carbon dioxide as a waste product. So let's see where the carbon dioxide goes after it accumulates into the tissue cells. So as you can see here, 7 to 10% carbon dioxide is dissolved in the plasma. 70%, the majority of the carbon dioxide, is loaded into the red blood cell. And here is my picture of a red blood cell, but we'll focus on here first. 70% gets loaded into the red blood cell. It forms a reaction with water and sped up with carbonic anhydrase, which is an enzyme, to form the product carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is very unstable, so it decomposes into the products bicarbonate ion and hydrogen ion. So as this process is occurring, there's a lot of bicarbonate ions. So in order to get rid of the bicarbonate ions so that more carbon dioxide is being converted into carbonic acid, it undergoes a process called chloride shift. As you can see, that circular object, that's a membrane protein. It helps with the process of chloride shift. During chloride shift, one bicarbonate ion is replaced with a chloride ion. And because they both have the same charge, it doesn't really, affect any charge across the membrane. So it's basically the same thing. The remaining 20 to 23% carbon dioxide is loaded into the red blood cell and attaches to hemoglobin, which I wrote here as HB. It loosely binds to hemoglobin since, as you know, hemoglobin, oxygen is the main, primarily oxygen binds to hemoglobin. But there's a different binding site for carbon dioxide, so they don't need to compete for binding sites. But yeah, the remaining 20 to 23% binds to hemoglobin to form the product, sorry, I got blurry, carb-amino-hemoglobin, HbCO2. It forms the product carb-amino-hemoglobin. Okay, so that's basically how carbon dioxide is loaded into the red blood cell. Now we'll switch to how oxygen is loaded into the tissue cells. Okay, so as you know, hemoglobin, there's two types. There's oxyhemoglobin and deoxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin is saturated with oxygen. So let's focus on oxyhemoglobin for now. Oxyhemoglobin, the hemoglobin, well, the oxygen is binded to the hemoglobin. So 98% of that oxygen is transported to the tissue cells. Well, it diffuses into the tissue cells, 98%. The remaining 2%, some are dissolved in the plasma, and some is dissolved in the tissue cells. not dissolved, diffused inside the tissue cells. While the hemoglobin left over binds to the remaining hydrogen ions from the earlier reaction. Well, I'm done. This concludes this part of the respiratory system, how carbon dioxide is loaded into the red blood cell, and how oxygen is unloaded from the red blood cell to the tissue cells. Well, I know well, I hope this video helps. I'm basically using this video to help me study for my tests, which is next week. So hopefully this will help you in some sort of way.